Today, I'm going to walk you through how to make the most of using LSAC's LawHub Advantage platform, which is the best place to get real, actual, official LSAT questions for your studying. No, they're not paying me to make this video, although I wish they were. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, if you're aiming for a top LSAT score, you've got to be using real, actual, official LSAT questions, and you want to be taking real, actual, official LSAT exams just the same way you'll take them on LSAT test day. Now, a lot of the older LSAT exams out there, the books of 10 exams from back in the day, those contain logic games, but of course the LSAT no longer has the logic games section. And so LSAC has done all the hard work by reorganizing all the old LSAT questions into full-length practice tests with new raw score conversions, meaning you can calculate what your practice test score would have been out of 180. Now, LSAC's LawHub Advantage platform contains 58 full-length practice exams in this new format, along with thousands of other questions that you can drill by type or do as individual sections. But the thing is, most students still don't know how to use LawHub effectively. So today, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide to making the best possible use of LawHub, show you how to integrate it into your LSAT study plan, and help you avoid the common mistakes that sabotage even the most ambitious test takers. Now, LawHub is essential for getting a top LSAT score. As I said, this is the best source of real official LSAT questions straight from LSAC, the people who make the exam. And they're giving you 58 full-length exams in the updated LSAT format without logic games. And LawHub is also the only place that mirrors the exact format that you'll see on LSAT test day. If you're using some private prep company's platform, you're going to notice it looks and feels a little bit different than what you'll experience on the actual day of the test. And so you could be in for a rude awakening if you're practicing using some unofficial platform. And then on test day, you're like, wait a second, this looks different. It works differently. That's why at LSAT Unplugged, we have all of our students using LawHub directly, both for drilling questions and for using full-length practice exams. We help you make the best possible use of LawHub in your LSAT study plan. We create personalized day-by-day study plans for every single one of our students, covering when to drill questions, when to do individual timed sections, and when to take full-length practice tests as test day approaches. Now, beyond those core 58 numbered exams, numbered 101 to 158, LSAC recently added over 1,300 additional logical reasoning and reading comprehension questions in that additional practice section of their platform. These questions come from the older LSAT exams, which gives you even more material to work with as you're building that foundation without taking full-length practice tests or spoiling them closer to test day. Now, those older 1,300 questions recently added come from the earliest LSATs, roughly PrepTests 1 to 18, 21, 23, and a few others from the 1990s. Now, I'm going to cover these in a bit more depth because a lot of students aren't even aware that they exist. These questions were previously unavailable in most prep books or online platforms. LSAC describes these as being analogous to modern day LSAT questions, but they're still warning that these older questions may not reflect the current test design. And these questions are best for a couple of types of students. If you've already worked through all those newer exams, meaning PrepTest 101 to 158, or if you want extra practice without spoiling full-length exams, or finally, if you're on a longer study timeline, like 5 months or more, these questions are a great additional resource for you to use. You could also use them for individual drills or timed sections to refine your pacing and accuracy. And then, of course, you're going to want to save that newer material for your full-length practice tests. Now, here are some common mistakes to avoid when you're using that LawHub platform. First off, don't feel like you have to do every single practice test before test day. Ideally, of course, you'd be able to, but if your timeline's a bit shorter, if you're taking the LSAT in just a couple of months, you may not be able to do over 7,000 LSAT questions before test day. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. You don't want to burn out. So instead, of course, focus on quality over quantity. Focus on doing a smaller number of questions and then, of course, deeply reviewing each one. Don't neglect or skip the review process because just answering the questions isn't enough. The real improvement, of course, will come from understanding why you got a question wrong and how to avoid similar mistakes in the future. At LSAT Unplugged, we guide you through the review process using the Socratic review method. We help you ask yourself, what was the trap you fell for? Why was your reasoning initially flawed? And upon reflection, of course, what's the correct approach. We guide you through this process in our small group coaching program and our one-on-one coaching programs. We'll create for you a personalized day-by-day study plan to help you achieve a perfect balance between taking practice tests in sections and, of course, reviewing them in depth, because every question that you get wrong is an opportunity to learn something new. If you're interested in finding out more about joining one of our programs on your journey to scoring a 170 plus, you can check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. Now, of course, we don't want you neglecting to take full-length practice tests. Individual sections are not enough. I could divide LSAT prep for you into roughly 3 phases: accuracy, pacing, and endurance. Accuracy is drilling questions, which is great to do. LSAC has a drilling section within their platform. You also, of course, then want to move on to pacing with individual sections. That additional practice section of LawHub is a great place to do this. And then, of course, full-length timed exams are also key. We want test day itself to feel like just another run-through. We want you to build up your endurance doing at least 10 full-length exams. And so, of course, we build those 10 exams at least into your LSAT study plan personalized for you. Whether you're working or in school or have the leisure to study for the LSAT full-time, we take all that into consideration when crafting your personalized day-by-day study plan. Now, I'm going to walk you through step-by-step how to use LawHub effectively to achieve a top LSAT score like a 170 plus. First off, take a diagnostic test. You could take one full-length exam in exam mode to assess your baseline score and see where you stand, identify your weak areas and strengths, and then set your goal score. Now, there are 58 numbered exams in LawHub currently. It's going to be totally fine to use just one of them. You could take exam 101 as your full-length practice test and still save 57 newer ones for additional practice. And again, use exam mode to work on your pacing with that strict time constraint. Then you could build your core skills using LawHub's self-paced mode where timing's not going to be a factor. You could then drill individual question types, covering both logical reasoning and reading comp. You could even practice untimed entirely to give yourself more space to analyze each question in depth to better understand its structure and its logic. But of course, as test day gets closer, you want to transition to doing timed sections strictly. Use LawHub's timing feature to monitor your pacing, and of course, aim to finish each section in the time allotted. Then in that final phase of your prep, you want to simulate full-length exams using exam mode in LawHub and treat these as your dress rehearsals for the real test. Of course, use scratch paper to the official timing and break schedule. You get to do 2 sections back to back. You have a 10-minute break, then 2 more sections back to back, and that's the exam. Avoid and eliminate any distractions to better replicate test day conditions, meaning put your phone on airplane mode or put it outside the room entirely. Make sure that no one interrupts you during the exam and don't take breaks to go to the bathroom in the middle of the test. Now, I'm going to walk you through in a bit more depth how to review your practice tests. Of course, at LSAT Unplugged, we use that Socratic review method. Review is where the magic happens. You want to analyze every single question that you got wrong or had difficulty with. You want to think through, what was the trap? Why did I fall for it? How can I avoid making that same mistake the next time around? You want to keep a mistake journal or error log to track patterns in your mistakes, whether it was regard to a certain method of reasoning, a certain question type, or maybe an issue with timing or pacing. Then you want to revisit those questions you missed earlier, anything challenging to reinforce your correct reasoning and the lesson learned, and to identify specific areas where you may have run out of time or rushed through questions, and then adjust your pacing strategy accordingly. Now, I know LawHub can feel overwhelming without a plan, but it is a really powerful tool. You don't want to neglect it. You don't want to rely only on drilling questions or only on the prep books, since of course the LSAT is online now and the test you're taking is a full-length timed exam on test day itself. That's where a personalized day-by-day study plan will come into play to help you transition from accuracy and drilling to pacing with timing. And then finally, of course, with endurance, doing full-length timed practice tests. At LSAT Unplugged, we create a personalized, customized study plan roadmap for every single one of our students, telling you exactly which sections, question types, and exams to focus on each day from now through your LSAT test date. And through our coaching programs, we help you identify and focus on your weak areas to make sure that you improve efficiently without burning out. So if you'd like my help on your journey to getting a top LSAT score, a 170 plus ideally, my team and I would be glad to help you out. You can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.